Hello everybody, Isabella from Priorattire here, and today we are looking at the layers and fashions of basically about 1430s. So a really transitional period between the sort of Houppelande style and the sort of high medieval style when you have the Burgundian gowns, for example. Today we're looking at definitely a well-to-do woman, and the whole outfit is based on the Devon tapestries. So it's a little bit stylised, but it's quite an interesting style. I'm already wearing the standard undergarments of the era. You've seen these before. It's the basic linen chemise. At that point you can also have chemises that are on straps or short-sleeved with breast bags, as it's sort of called due to recent research, that actually do support bust a little bit more. This one does not such things at the moment, but it will do because that's what your kirtle is for. I've got woolen stockings and I've got nice fashionable long-nosed shoes. Not as long-nosed as later on in the century, but even 2 inches of a nose is an interesting impediment for walking. As the first layer goes a woolen kirtle. This kirtle is quite ancient, to be honest. I made it, oh my goodness, must be at least 16 years ago, and it's all hand stitched with a wrong stitch, I suppose. Let me have a look. Well, it's back stitched and then blanket stitched, so not ideal. Should be really back stitched and then stitched and then seam fall over. But it has survived 16 years of use, so I'm not knocking it off. Let me see if I can get it in without getting my head stuffed. It sort of still fits after the 16 years, so we are having some people trying to get into our room, possibly the owners. Now, the kirtles at the time lays in front, at the back or at the side, most often in front, especially as it's easier for you to actually lace it up. Again, when I made the kirtle, I was not as knowledgeable, so the eyelets are not really correct eyelets. There are more buttonholes working as an eyelet, if that makes any sense. But again, they look quite flimsy and stretchy, but they're actually been holding up quite remarkably well for 16 years of use. And we start lacing from, again with lacing so much faster, from bottom to up, and we'll support the boobage on the way. Now in the 1430s you slowly see kirtles coming into use with separate cut waist. That is not a piecing technique because you didn't have enough fabric. We have loads of that earlier on, but a technique to actually accentuate the waist with skirts first inserted plainly all around and then being gathered and providing some more fullness. So that's something we see at that point. Kirtles at the moment can be long sleeved or short sleeved. They can be lined, especially for winter, or unlined like this one. This is a summer version. And again, within about 10 years or so, you see many more kirtles without the sleeves, just on a strap. But these really remained in use, especially among the poorer society, for much longer, because once you have a kirtle that works, why change it? It works, and fabric was expensive. You were really taking care of your garments, making sure they're utilised well, cared for, and they lasted a long time because that's saving money. Fashions did not really change that much for a variety of reasons. Wealth is one thing, but lack of fashion magazines, for example, is another factor. Right, we get a crucial point of our lacing, which is boobage. We'll deal with it in a second. It's quite remarkable that just one layer of wool can actually provide quite a lot of support but also that it's suitable to be worn in the summer, but it is very, very comfortable if we are having a heat wave, as nowadays we're having more and more often. Let me see. It's difficult without a mirror, and obviously I would have servants. Almost there. Right, we've got to the very end. We now just need to put it all tight to support the assets from the underneath, and for that I need to be a little bit indiscreet and just let it hang. Let the gravity do the work. Almost there. Now I think I'm almost there. So that is just one layer of wool, and it really supports just as well as any bra really, without any wires. Let me just see if I can put it up. You'll get a very long tape to deal with, but with tape that long you can actually lace it quite high up, loosen it up, or even all the way up, loosen it up, so it's much faster to just put it on, pull the laces, done. So that would be my usual stuff for home, for any domestic duties. You can see the same style on peasant girls as well, peasant women in the field working. It's a very practical garment. For field work, obviously, it will be a little bit shorter, or if you have a belt, simply hook it all up, much shorter skirt. If it's cold, you put your sleeves on, and also this allows you for utilising a lot of different sleeves. And you can have wool ones, you can have damask ones, there would be presents from your loved ones usually. And because from the Houppelande all you can really see is the lower part of the sleeve, you can't see the kirtle. It's quite nice because it looks as if your whole undergarment is that nice posh fabric, whereas in fact it's just plain wool. So this is all pinned in. Hopefully it will stay in. So again, a belt and a little purse, and you'll be ready. But since I'm wearing other stuff, I don't really want a purse underneath to provide bulky shapes. Now this is the big Houppelande, and it has a lot of fabric. It was made originally for one of my clients, a falconer, hence the Devonshire hunting tapestries. But that was before COVID, when she had the booking, and then COVID came, and booking disappeared for 2 years and never was renewed. So I have agreed to take it back and possibly sell. I'll provide her with a different style that will work for different kind of booking instead. And it is really exceptional style. I mean, look at the sleeves. Look at that. The fabric is quite light. It's silk and linen damask. So again, a historical fabric with a historically appropriate pattern. It's lined with very light silk and hemmed with fur, and obviously the belt. for sleeves, you can actually have sleeves here as well, if you wanted to, or just let them hang as they are. They were just a display of wealth, really, although it's quite nice to cozy up with them if your hands are freezing. Right, let us see what we can do here. No mirror. And boots in a way. Almost there. Done it. Oh, I had another hole here. Oh, never mind. Just be easier. We'll just arrange the fouts. The colour is quite peculiar and it looks quite strong and not medieval at all at a first look. But if you look at the tapestries, this is a very popular colour. And not that difficult to make. It wouldn't last long because of what you use for dyeing, and that would be possibly wild mixture of yellows and blues really. But that's a lot of fabric. Now hairstyles, before the hairstyles, collar. As you can see, collar here sort of lies flat, which is the first steps to lead to the Burgundian deep V in the front and the back. Earlier Houppelande would have standing collar, so close here, standing collar, you can see that quite a lot. But then the collar started to relax, and in the 30s and 40s you really see this style quite a lot. Right, something for the hair. We have lots of variations of what we can wear on the hair. Usually you have quite a high up hair piled up and a suitable either a roll or net supporting it. Really loads of styles, starting from the earlier, so very big and wide headdress, which I have a couple of photos of, I'll pop them here, to just a roll, which I'm going to try first. So I've got a little roll, just a padded roll, placed on the braids and with the veil draped over and fixed with a pin. So that's one of the styles. Or we can swap it for a different style, which I do in a second. That's quite posh. You can't really walk much without dragging all that on the ground, but it would be perfect for getting visits in, and possibly, let's see if I can ride in it, because obviously that's the clothes you were going riding for a picnic if you were a posh lady. So let's see how that works. And another headdress. This one is also a roll, but it's combined with more rigid structure and a veil. So that's another look. You can have a look. So that's it from today. I'm going to see if I can get in a horse in it and possibly ride pillion, although there's loads to ride astride as well if I really wanted to. So much skirt. So let's have a look at that.